Welcome to Kanuka Home Practice, everyone. Join me for this meditation practice. It's a short 10 to 15 minute practice, and it's all about being here right now, being present with your body and with your breath. Meditation is a fairly new practice for me, and using the technique that I'm about to share is one that helped me develop a meditation practice. It made sense to me, and it was something that I was able to use, and I hope you find it works for you as well. So make yourself comfortable and we can make a start. We're going to start our meditation practice in your comfortable seat. So propping yourself up on a pillow, maybe a block. You can be sitting at a chair if you're at the office or working from home. Or you may even like to lie down on a couch or on the ground, anywhere comfortable to find your seat, to find your place. And just starting to take 3 deep rounds of your breath. So breathing in through the nose, exhaling out the mouth, breathing in through the nose, and out the mouth. Once more like that, in, slow exhale, and the hands can be resting down on your knees, or perhaps one palm on top of the other, resting down on your lap. Sitting up nice and tall, so we're lifting up through the crown of the head. The spine is nice and alert, not stiff, but just an alert posture. And we gently tuck the chin and come back to the breath. So breathing in, long, slow out breath. And breathing in, slow out breath, softening the body down. Breathing in, fill up the lungs, fill up the belly. Slow out breath, softening, releasing down. And feel free to flutter the eyes closed, turning the gaze inward. And just flowing with your breath pattern. It could be in and out through the nose. It might be mouth breathing. Inhales, fill up the body. Exhales, soften the shoulders, soften down parts of the face. And riding your out-breath to find comfort, taking a bit of rest. And perhaps bringing a gentle smile to your face as you sit here, focusing on the breath. So we're going to start our meditation practice, and we're going to be noticing the thoughts. So our minds will constantly take us away into thoughts. Things will constantly pop up into the mind, plans, agendas, things. We're always looking for something to grip onto, something to place our attention on. So this practice is going to be about noticing when that happens. So as we sit here in your comfortable seat, we're breathing in your comfortable seat. we can begin to notice the thoughts popping into the mind. And when we notice that has happened, when we notice that we might be off in thought, or we may be off in thought for some time, or we're just going to acknowledge it. We're going to remind ourselves that, well, I've noticed my mind taking me off into thoughts. I'm going to acknowledge it with a little smile, and I'm going to return to the breath. Breathing in, long out breath. Breathing in, long out breath. So we can try that for the next minute or so. Just noticing if the mind is thinking thoughts, if we're getting distracted, if we're being pulled away from where we are. We notice it, we acknowledge it by giving ourselves a little smile, and we come back to the breath. And it might help you to keep the focus on the breath, and you might like to tell yourself in your mind, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And we can keep repeating that, and that will give us something to focus on. It will give our minds something to think about. So taking the next minute to notice distractions coming into your mind, acknowledge it, and return back to your breath. So as you continue sitting here in your comfortable seat, noticing the thoughts, acknowledging and returning to the breath, you can give yourself permission to think of all thoughts as being equal. All things that pop into the mind, and the mind will constantly try to bring things up for you and distract you. But for this time right now, we can just think of all thoughts that come into the mind as being equal. Nothing is more important or less important. We simply notice when we're being distracted by our thoughts. We acknowledge it by giving ourselves a gentle smile. And we return to your inhales and your exhales. Return to your breath. And every out-breath, we're softening the body down, finding some rest here. So the breath is a tool, or it's something that we have done since we were very young, since we were born. It's something we're doing right now. And it's something that we are doing in the present moment. It is something that is happening right now. So by noticing when we're being distracted, witnessing when we have been taken away into thought, when we acknowledge it by giving ourselves a little smile that we've noticed it, and when we return to the breath, we are returning to presence. We are returning to the current moment. We are returning to your body sitting here. And we are just being with the breath as it is right now. Breathing in, filling up the belly and the lungs with fresh new air. Exhaling, softening the hips, the legs, the torso. Using your exhaling breath to soften down parts of the face, the jaw, the cheeks, the forehead. And with this practice of noticing, acknowledging, and returning to the breath, we can start to find space. We start to find space between what's happening right now with our body and our breath, with the present moment, and the thoughts that try to distract us and take us away. We start to find space between the now and the distractions. And with that bit of extra space, that bit of calmness between what's happening right now and the distractions, we begin to cultivate more choice. We can start to choose whether we attach ourselves to the thoughts that pop into the mind, whether we get swept away in our plans, in our monkey mind, or whether we choose to stay with the breath, stay with the present moment. And it's in that space that we're cultivating, that ability to choose that we're cultivating. It's those moments where we might find a better choice. A better decision might present itself because we are not reacting or getting swept up in our mind. We're staying focused on the breath, staying in the present moment, and finding that bit of rest. So that concludes our meditation practice today. I invite you to sit here a little while longer where you are, noticing, acknowledging, and returning to your breath. Otherwise, you're welcome to bring some gentle movement back into the wrists and the hands. Maybe shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears, and fluttering the eyes open, bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra, uniting the left and right, and bowing out of our practice today. Namaste.